Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alaihi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, day in, day out, we are still alive. But a time will come when then we will die. That time no one knows except Allah. Those pious persons, those who are closer to Allah, they may have some they may be given some sort of signs that they are going to die, but they won't know exactly the time, but they will know to a certain extent that they are about to die. And that's why those pious people will say, I will not be long. When the time of their death has come, they will say to those around them, I will not be long be with you, But he will not say, I will die on Sunday, this time, that time, But those who are away from Allah will not be. They're thinking they are still alive, they will still be living day after day, even only few days or few hours. They don't know. They're thinking and believing they're still living and will be living. So they went out shopping, doing a lot of fun, and they died in the middle of doing evil things. Many people are caught with surprise. The death has catch them with surprise. They don't expect. Neither them, no, there are people who are close to them. Oh, we were not thinking that we just see him yesterday. He's still happy and joyful. Today he's dead. Oh, like this. Neither he or those who or she know the people that knows that they are going to die. So the Prophet ﷺ, at the last Hajj, he was saying, this is probably my last. I will not be able to see you again. That's not months, years before his death. So they are telling them, I will not be long. It will be my last. Prophet ﷺ was saying, this is my last Hajj. So, because there was the last Hajj, the believers all over Saudi Arabia gathered, almost all of them, in Hajj, in that Hajj, which Rasulullah said, probably this is my last Hajj. They are about basically 120,000. That is many at that time. And then he gives sermon in Arafah. And he told all the important things which he need to tell before his departure from this world. one of the things that he has mentioned specifically, neither Arab nor non-Arab are better than others, except in piety or in taqwa. This very word of Prophet shows that Islam are not Muslim are not racist. Malays are racist, but you can't call Muslim are racist. Muslim is those who have submitted themselves wholly, solely to the desire of Allah. Malays, Chinese, Indian, you tell me what race? They are all racist. No one is not racist. Only some are more racist than the others, but all are racist. The one who are not racist only Muslim or true believer to good deeds, who believe, in the words of the Nabi Sallam. Neither Arab nor non-Arabs are superior to others, except those in taqwa. The Malays are naturally racist, the Chinese are also racist, Indians are also racist, English are racist, Yahud are even more racist. So you can't expect they are not racist. If the Indians say, oh, Malays are racist, the Malays say Chinese are racist. No, all are racist, except those who are taqwa, those who have become Muslim, those who have become the true believers. Why? Because the Muslim and the true believers are the people who obeyed Allah and His prophets. Those who are not Muslim, only Malays or Chinese or Indian, not Muslim, they will not be able to obey that order of Allah and His prophet. So you can see the Arabs, they are racist. They are very racist. Those people who come to Arabs, to Saudi Arabia to work, but they are not coming, they are coming from India, are not treated equally to those who come from Europe, from America. Those colored in America, either black or brown, or are not treated equally to whites. So one Chinese, he got his son. He said, go to schools. He said, am I? The son was telling the father, am I not white? You are not white, son. You are yellow. This is yellow. The son was astonished to find out that he's not white. He's very Chinese, some very white skin. But to the American, European, Chinese are not white, they are yellow. The Malays are not white, they'll be regarded as brown. The Negroes are black, they are colored, they call it colored people. So colored people are not treated equally as the white or those Europeans. Americans are from Europe. They are all people who are migrated from Europe, the one who been living long before European coming to America are the Indians, the red Indian they call it. They are not Indians, but the British call them red. They call their skin color is red. So they are called red Indians. So they kill most of them, take their lands. They've been living in America at the expense of the red Indians. So the Indians have to go inside in the deserts. Until today, there are few of them who have come out to fight for their right. So the Americans are racist. They are not belong to America, but yet they migrated there, and then they start to own the country and drive those who have living there for a very long time to inside the country. Similarly, the Malays, when they come here, they drive the Aborigines. They are actually old Malays, you know. The Malays who have come earlier than them. But the Malays who come later, which has more knowledge, drive them inside the jungle. Now they treated them not equally as the Malays. They take their lands too. They're flogging the timbers, destroying their agriculture. Destroy their lands, the ecosystem. So as a result, destroy their cultivations, things like that. Because the Malays were more knowledgeable and more shrewd, or the Chinese go into the jungle and destroy their farms, their ecosystem. So similar things happen in America as well as here or anywhere else in the world, because none can obey these orders of Allah. Neither Arabs or non-Arabs are superior than the others, except people who are taqwa. We are only superior to each other in taqwa. If a person is taqwa, he should be honored. He should be made supreme. The position should be elevated in accordance to that level of taqwa. Not in terms of color, not in terms of worldly things. No. But the Malays are not practicing through Islam. They are Malays, they are not Muslim. They don't like to mix with the Bangladesh, the Indonesian who come as workers here. They look at them not as American looks at the Indians, at the Negroes, but still they don't think they are equally at par with them. Especially the Bangladesh. The Indonesian, they come here, they can assimilate well, and they sometimes pretend and become same as Malaysian. So one Indonesian fell in love with one Malaysian, not very beautiful Malaysian. So wanting to take her daughter as his wife. Someone on his behalf come to ask for the marriage. Then somehow rather, without realizing, he was telling although he's from Indonesia, he's very hard-working person. Oh, the father says, disclose, no more. The moment the person mentioned that he's from Indonesia, rejected. No, it is real. That's why racism exists everywhere. Everyone thinks they are better because they have more wealth, they have more land. Usually they think they are superior because they are richer. Like the whites think they are superior because they rule the country, they are richer than the Indians. The Indian was slave. They were taken. They don't migrate to America. They are taken from Africa. Usually in a state of Gabon, in West Africa, a slave where slave selling business is taking place. So all these are usually Muslim. All the African Americans currently They are known. They are basically, their forefathers are Muslim from Gabon. Gabon, Muslim country. Their roots are Muslim. But they have been made after some time to become Christians. And yet, although they have become Christian, they are humiliated by the other Christians who are whites. Has been downgraded by the Christians of the whites. Although both speak English, both are Christian, but they cannot go to the same church. Those masters, the whites have become masters to the blacks, like in South Africa, they introduce apartheid. They say we cannot live with them. We must have different colonies. We cannot have same schools. Blacks cannot go to the same school, cannot go to the same park, cannot go to the same toilet. So in South Africa, the whites, they usually they comprise the upper class. They are rich, so they go to hotels, big hotels, or you cannot find blacks in big hotels. Only one or two. So one black politician says, "I will work so hard for South Africa so that blacks are of equal number to the whites in hotels." So people are usually graded people according to their wealth, social status, money, power. The blacks in Africa are poor. They cannot be the same as the white, they say. Dirty, poor, filthy. Same as the black in America, they are poor. So many people think that to upgrade the blacks, you must make them financially sound. They should become rich too. So when Africa was governed by the black take over. Nelson Mandela, after being jailed for 27 years, was made the president of South Africa. He cannot do much about racism. Although he says, "I will forgive the whites for humiliating us." Was one of the good blacks. So the Americans were asking them, why you are admiring Fidel Castro of Cuba, Gaddafi of Libya? Why? He was being asked. So Nelson Mandela was there. There's something wrong. The very wrong with us is to think they are wrong. They are not wrong. Fidel Castro, the very thing that wrong with us, we think they are wrong. The people of America was stunned. The very great thing that we do wrong, we think they are wrong. They are not wrong. He said the Fidel Castro is not only in words helping South Africa, but in actions. They give money, weapons to fight against apartheid. Not America. So one day, Nelson Mandela invited Fidel Castro to come to South Africa. He was applauded by the Africans, Americans. But the blacks have been downtrodden for a very long time. They don't have skills. They don't have knowledge. How much do they want the blacks to be at par with the whites in financial gains? The black cannot afford to do it. They don't have the skill. They don't have knowledge. They don't go to universities. So like in Zambia, Mugabe took over, drive away all the British, take over all their lands and give it to the blacks. But the blacks are unable to carry on the industry, So collapse. The whole economy of the country collapsed, and Zambia became very poor country. So in South Africa, they don't do the same thing. They don't drive the whites, make the whites to remain, and to make the black to continually trying to acquire skills. But it's very long time until today, they are unable to do it. Like the government now is belong to the Malays to a certain extent from 1957 till lately was taken by Pakatan Harapan. There are some Chinese there. Otherwise, it's all controlled by Malays. 90% Malays. By the party of Barisan Nation. The Malays leaders, they're trying very hard to make the Malays to be at par financially with the Chinese. And they say one thing we have to do to make the Malays all businessmen. But the Malays are not fond of doing business. They never do business since time of immemorial. They only become governors, king, farming, fishing, and that's all they like to do. When the British take over Malaya, they want to develop the country. They want to take, they have not developed the country, they want to take the wealth of the country to Great Britain. The tin oil, the rubber. So who wants to work in their estate, in their tin mine? The Malays will not do. The Malays say, how can we do your work? We are the owner of the land. So they have to take Chinese from China, from Hong Kong, to handle the tin mines, and the Indians who from Ceylon as the Tamils from Madras to become rubber tappers, and the Tamils from Ceylon, because they are more intelligent, to become officers, government officers. My friend Mr. Silva was proud of that. My great-grandparents come here to assist in the development of the railway. So that's why the Ceylonese are not to be treated same as the Indian. One thing they say they are very frustrated is Malaysian thinks all Indian the same. Ceylonese, Tamil, those from Punjab, those from Pakistan, all Indians. They say they are not the same. The Sikh are not the same as the Tamil. The Tamil are not the same. So, like Indian party, Malaysian Indian Society, MIC, comprised mainly of Tamils. They don't comprise of the Sikh. So the Sikh and Punjabi and Ceylonese are put aside. They don't have anything to represent, because two Malaysian Indians are Tamils. But Indians are not only Tamil, they comprise of many types and many colors, not black as Tamils. But generally, MIC is representing the Tamil people. They are well-known leader, It's known as what? The minister. Sami Belu. Who? He tried to speak Malay, but not very well. He just make the Malays, to laugh at him. One day he was saying, to open the opening session of the building. They were sliding the curtain. In Malay, we said differently. But Sami Velu said it differently, which means to allow the minister, which is a woman, to open his clothes. Everybody laughed, He was inviting Rapida Aziz to open his clothes. He should say to let him to open the curtain, not close. He was a very joking prime minister. One day, he was the Minister of Work, wrote, the bridge fall down. People say, Sami Velu should resign. Why I should resign, he said. I'm appointed by Prime Minister. When the hills drop, I should resign. When the road broke, I should resign. Everything asking me to resign. These are not right, he said. People laugh also. So, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, to a certain extent, in Malaysia, we're trying as much as possible not to have racism. But we can keep it to minimum, but we cannot eradicate it completely. We cannot. Deep in the heart of every Malays, they don't like the Chinese and the Indian to take over this country. They will never not let the Chinese or the Indian to enter into their party UMNO. When the British want to give independence to Malaya, he said to Datuk Jaafar on. At that time, UMNO consisting only of Malays. They went to the British. The British said, we can take you independence, but you must take also in your party the Chinese and the Indians. So he come back to the country and telling the Malays, we should open the membership of this UMNO to Chinese and then, the whole Malays refused violently. They say you are treacherous. No, we will not. So he led to the resignation of Datuk Jaafar. Datuk On Jaafar. So he formed another party. But then they went to Tunku Abdul Rahman to replace him. So Rahman got a very smart mind. He said, we form 3 parties. Chinese party, Malay party and Indian. No one should mingle. Then the 3 joined together, we named the party Party Perikatan. The British agree. And they stand for election, they win almost landslide victory. So that's why the British give independence. So the condition arise now when the Malays become more, they know that joining politics is one of the ways to become rich. So many Malays, instead of forming only one party, they want to make many parties. There's so many parties. The Chinese too. So no one want to govern like they used to do before. 3 party only. So now the politics of Malaysia upheaval now. In chaos. Even anyone will win the party, will election, they will not be able to win majority to rule the country. Even UMNO wins or PAS win. And UMNO, Malays divided by UMNO, PAS, some other party, Pejuang, Muda. All these will not be able to rule the country. They stand by themselves. They want to make as they used to do before. No one is willing. The Chinese are made of many parties too. Indian. So at this situation now, Malaysia cannot be governed by 3 parties as Perikatan Nasional or Barisan Nasional. Days gone by. Something which is not possible now. So it leaves with the answer. Democracy can never work. In order for any party to rule a country, they must have majority. of the seats of the parliament. 222, at least middle majority, simple majority. At this point, even if they have general election, they will not, any party will not be able to rule by itself, because they will not be able to get that simple majority also. If they combine with the others, no one want to combine. The UMNO people, they say no DAP, the Chinese party, no PKR, no Anwar, no DAP. PKR have some Malays, but they don't like the Malays in PKR. The Malays in PKR, they love Chinese. You know? They're mostly not true Malays, mixed Malays. Either Indians mix or Chinese become Malays. They are not true Malays. The true Malays are the racist one, which is UMNO. They're very racist. The past is Malays too, but they think they are more religious, so they are Islamic party. So what's the answer to all this? So Malaysia can no longer follow democracy. They must have to follow Islam. The party that will make the people of Malaysia to become the people of taqwa. At that time, then only, when the people of Malaysia, the people of taqwa, the people who are Muslim, the people who are the true believers of good deeds, then only they will be able to follow, probably to a certain extent, what the prophets have said in the last Hajj. Neither Arabs are superior than non-Arab, nor the non-Arab superior than Arab. Superior from among you is the people of taqwa. And how to give, to make people to become people of taqwa? In order for them to have become taqwa, they must be able to attain the level of faith or iman towards Allah, which is far higher than the level of iman of only a true believer of the good deeds. If you only become a true believer of the good deeds of the lower level, you cannot become the people of taqwa or the Muslim. You only can become people of taqwa and Muslim after you are able to achieve the status of true believer of the good deeds, and then you work until you are able to achieve the level of iman of the people who are the true believer of good deeds of the highest level. So among the true believer of good deeds, they are the lower level, the middle level, average level, and the highest level. Once they can reach the true believer of good deeds at the highest level, then they can become people of taqwa. They are honored by not only Allah honored them, angels honored them, and Allah make the whole entire people to honor them. And the people of taqwa is the people who fear Allah, love Allah so much that they don't dare to disobey the orders of Allah. If they govern the country, they will govern it with justice, no racism. Everyone is regarded in term and graded in terms of their taqwa, not in terms of their wealth, not in terms of their positions in the society, but in terms of their faith and actions. As Allah graded us in terms of our faith and actions, similarly Allah wants us to grade others in accordance to what He has graded. That is in terms of taqwa, not in terms of wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messenger give no value to the material wealth as we are using now, as we are doing now. We graded people in terms of their wealth or their ancestors, colors. All this should be eliminated when the people are people of taqwa. So Rasulullah says, none is superior to others except in taqwa Only people of taqwa are able to obey this order, not people of no taqwa. Even if you mention this hadith repeatedly, million times, those who are not taqwa will not be able to obey it, will not be able to exercise it, practice it. That's why it remains words. Because we are not producing people of taqwa. Why we are not producing people of taqwa? Because we are not doing any work to produce that. You know, how could we make clothes if we don't have factories to produce clothes? How can we make car if we don't have factories to produce car? How can we make buildings if we don't have factories to produce all the bricks, irons? Similarly, how can we produce people of taqwa? We don't have factories to produce. We are not doing the work. We do not know even. We are ignorance. Our mosques are empty. The place to produce people of taqwa should be the mosque, not the factory. All the other factories that we buildings are only to produce material things, not people, good people. Good people are produced in the mosque, but not by putting them to stay in the mosque and doing zikr and Quran. No, by the amal of the mosque, the biggest amal of the mosque, which has to be made to be alive in Malaysia and all the rest of the world, is to make them to become the people who invite others to good, prevent people from evil. They go out from the mosque in groups, visiting to every person, in every lanes, in every villages, in every town, city, countries in the world. Invite them to good, prevent them from evils. When our mosques are of this type, not only praying, now our mosque is only praying. People only go to mosque to pray and listen to lecture, and that's about all. They don't send groups out of the mosque to prevent evils and to invite people to go. They don't do that. All mosque is only for prayer and listen to lecture. In between prayer, mosque is empty. No learning, no discussion, no talks about iman, and most almost none are having this, this work of going out, forming groups after groups to go outside the mosque to see evil people, prevent their evil, not to see them, to kill them, no, to prevent their evil by inviting them to good. All the evil people of the locality and the non-evils, you should invite them to do the work. The evil, we must tell them, don't do evils. Tell them to worship Allah, not to worship other than Allah. Tell them to have faith in Muhammad Sallam and to obey Allah. This is good. The evil people are the people who do not want to believe Allah, who don't want to obey Allah, who don't believe Muhammad Sallam. These are evil people. These evil people must be reminded, must be reprimanded. They should be invited to good. They should be invited to believe in Allah. If they don't believe in Allah, if they have already recited the kalimah, they don't believe. They must do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people evil, if they want to become the believers, the true believers with the good deeds of the highest level, or to become a mu'min or taqwa. If only our mosques are doing this job all over the world, then only in the world there will be people of taqwa, people of Muslim. Then only that hadith of Nabi Sallam, Arabs are not superior to non-Arab, non-Arab not superior to Arab, except in taqwa. Otherwise, we remain as such, racist, full of racism, from America to the West Indies, from America to PG. All throughout the world, there will be only racism. The only difference is only the amount, but everyone is exercising racism. Whoever strong, they will rule over others. There is no love, no justice. Whole world will be in turmoils. Whole world will be full of treachery and injustices. It's all all the thing is that is up to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change our condition. Will never. Unless, we make the effort to change our condition. What effort we should make? In order to change our condition, we should make the effort on iman and faith toward Allah and good deeds. That is the effort. If we then become the people of good iman and good deed, only then Allah will change our condition and situation. From injustices to justice, from calamities to mercy, from hatred to love. Allah is the doer. He creates and He destroys. And He creates situation and condition, not we. Allah will change our condition to become a better condition if we change our iman and faith from the faith and iman towards wealth and material to the faith toward the doer and the creator of the world. From obedience to our desires to the obedience to the desires of Allah. Then only Allah will change our bad condition and situation to the good condition and situation. Not only in this world, but also in the hereafter.